standing by with James Betcher. You are the linebackers coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, but this is obviously not your first stop in the NFL. Obviously want to know more about your career and the stops that you've had. You started out with the Colts, correct? And you were with the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Giants, San Francisco. I mean, you've had multiple stops. What have you learned, I guess, from those stops now being in Cincinnati?
I started coaching in a really small college, St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I think all your jobs they're a culmination of just working the process, learning techniques, learning fundamentals. How can you coach your players and teach them the best? And you grow each and every year. And I look back all the way to St. Francis, to New Hampshire, to Bowling Green, to Ball State, to North Carolina, just like my NFL stops that I've been fortunate enough to have. Each of those were just another place that I was able to grow and learn and get better and become a better teacher and become a better coach and coach fundamentals and help players elevate their game. And all of that, all those places along the way have led up to getting here and having a chance to work with these two great players.
And obviously the teaching aspect is so important, but how important is it for you to, establish a rapport with the players, knowing that you've got to gain their trust for them to understand that you're trying to help them get better each and every day?
Yeah, trust is the foundation of everything. You have to gain trust, and gaining trust involves getting to know your guys, getting to know their families, and them get to know mine, know my four kids names, know my wife, have dinner at my house, and spend real time together where the moment comes where I need to be on someone, they know where it's coming from, not where it's not. They know that what I'm talking about is about the best interest for them, how I can help them elevate their games. And it also, on the flip side, it takes players who want to be great and want to be different and want to learn and want to grow each and every day. We talk in our room a lot about just elevating your game. What are you doing to make your game better? Everybody's different. Everybody has to work on something different each and every day. Players aren't robots. They're not cookie cutters. They're not all the same. They learn different. Their bodies are different. Their skill sets are different, and we coach them all differently. If we're really on it with our players, then and I said trust initially, then you build that trust, and that way I can be honest in the moments I need to be honest. And I love that about Jordan or Logan and Germaine, and I love that about Logan and Germaine because those two guys are on it all the time. And you look at the rest of our room, from Joe to Marcus to Akeem, each of these guys want to be difference makers and want to get better. And they know where I'm coming from is the right place because we've built the trust.
And speaking of players who want to be elite, I would say Germaine Pratt is certainly in that group, as you've said as well. One of just 5 NFL players since 2021 to have five forced fumbles and 5 interceptions. Are you surprised by that at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. If you came to practice and you watched and you counted times attacking the football in practice, we have a saying, there's no strips without strip attempts. And you're not getting the ball out unless you take shots on it. And he would probably be charted number 1 each and every day because he attacks the football. He's highly aware. He's aware situationally. And every player has their strengths, and every player's strengths are different. And that is Germaine's strength, is his awareness and his ability to attack the football. And that's what he builds his game on, and which is awesome.
I've heard that he watches a healthy amount of film. How much film would you say that he watches, and is that beneficial for you as his coach?
Yeah, and healthy is a great way to put it, but it's maybe an understatement. He maybe as much as any player I've ever had at any level, he watches tape, and he comes in prepared. And why I love it as a coach is we get in the meeting, and Germaine doesn't want to. He wants to know the details that are repetitive from week to week in game plans, but he's already good with that. He has the tough questions because he's watched all the plays, and he's like, "Hey, coach, go to New England play 33. Go to this play. We got to answer this question. Are we on this? Oh yeah, we're on that. Okay, we're good with that. All right, we'll make sure we're on that one. And those are the things that when he has that conversation with me, that's one thing. But the thing that I think Germaine does a great job of, he has that conversation with Logan. Then he has that conversation with Dax. Then he has that conversation with Cheeto. Then he goes and has that conversation with DJ up front and Sam. And those guys find a way to always get on the same page. And that matters so much from just a relationship standpoint to galvanize guys. But it also matters when you're out and you have seconds to make adjustments on the field when a motion happens or formations happens in front of them and a call comes and you got to do what you have to do like that. That kind of communication that's going on in the locker room and the meeting room, then on the practice field, that's where you build success on Sundays and Mondays and those special Thursday night games.
I mean, your linebackers, the defense as a whole has just been so fun to watch over the years. And it seems like the guys are able to play fast, but the game also seems like it's slower to them. Would you agree with that? And do you like when your players are able to play in that manner?
Absolutely. And I think that's a culmination of the guys playing multiple years together. Yeah. When they're able to play multiple years together in the same system, that should be part of what happens. They should understand why you're doing what you're doing and what the weaknesses of the call is. And if they understand those two things, I understand why I'm doing it and what my weakness is on this snap. I'm going to play fast. I'm going to favor what my weakness is, but I'm going to play fast to whatever I need to do on that given down.
I'm going to go back to Sunday for a second because Germaine was telling us we were asking him about the Nick Scott had the player up in the air and then somehow, I don't know how he was able to see it like this, but Germaine Pratt punches the ball out, then Scott can recover. I mean, Pratt was laughing because he goes, I actually messed that play up and I had to make up a play. What was going through your mind when he busted that coverage? What was going through your mind when you watched that? Because you know he watches way too much film to be busting coverages.
Yeah, he's honest, and I love that about him. And he just got beat inside. So he was in the right spot. He was in the right place technically, but he got beat across his face in the coverage. And he just recovered well and was going to be there to get it down, and the ball shows. And what does Germaine do when the ball's there to be taken? And Germaine takes the ball away. And that's why he's got a lot of nicknames. They call him Louis P. They got all kinds of playoff Ps. They got all them nicknames because – and you earn those things. Somebody just didn't annoy him any of that stuff. And he is a player that if you went back to his rookie year, this is one of the things I love about Germaine because, I look at myself the same way on the coaching side is like, man, I coached at these small places and I mowed grass and I had to line fields and I had to be all kinds of jobs just to be a football coach when I first started. And I look at Germaine and you look back at the beginning of his career, he played on teams. He was a rotational player and cut his teeth and learned and grew and kept working and said, my weaknesses are this, I'm going to get better at them. And along the way, he kept getting better and better and better and better. And that's what he's done. And that's why he's in position to make plays right now is because he went through that full process in his career to get to this point. And, he's still working to get better, but he's in place and he sees the ball there because that's what he does in practice. Yeah. That's what he does in any moment the ball's there. He attacks it.
I think that point is so important for you to bring up because people watch them play on Sundays, they watch you coach on Sundays, and they don't necessarily always know the path that it took to get to that point or the work that went in. What is it like for you as a coach to not only put in a lot of work yourself, but your players are putting in a ton of work too? When you see that work put in come to fruition and you see wins coming from that, what is that feeling like?
Well, that's why you do it. You do it because you want to see others succeed. It's servant leadership. That's what it's about. It's about serving my guys, serving the players, doing everything I can do that helps them achieve whatever their personal goals are, our unit goals, our defensive side of the ball goals, and our team goals. And just serve. And that's one of the reasons I love coaching is because you get to see your players grow and develop and have the success and know that, ultimately players make plays, not coaches. But you had a little hand in there somewhere of helping them get to what they want to achieve for themselves.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm writing a story about Germaine Pratt and his kind of, I wouldn't say obsession, but I'm going to say obsession. His obsession with Peanut Tillman. Yeah. He watched a lot of him. Do you see the connection there? Do you notice that he might have been the kind of player that watched a lot of film on Peanut Tillman?
I'm sure he was, and he was such a headsy player. I remember him as a young guy watching him play, a headsy player, and always attacking the football. And ultimately, you can't attack the ball unless you're around the ball. Mm-hmm. So the motor that guy played with, I remember him running around the field, hitting people, run and hit, and all of a sudden knocking the ball out. And if you build your game around getting to the ball and playing hard every down, you find a way to create some of those opportunities, and you see Germaine doing that.
For sure. And defensively as a whole, it's been, I believe, 3 games since you guys have, or maybe 4, since you guys have allowed an opponent to even score 20 points. Does it feel good knowing that you're keeping teams in the teens?
Yeah, and I think we have a goal, keep people under 20, and if you do that, we have a pretty special offense on the other side, and these guys, they're going to put points on the board on people, and we hold, we have a saying, Lou has a saying, it's really a good one, it's points not yards. And ultimately, people get a play on us. Okay, we're going to reload next snap, defend the next blade of grass. And, okay, they get a play, reload, defend the next play. And we're going to do that all the way down the field. We're going to make people earn things. And along the way, we're going to attack the ball well enough like we're talking about and try to take it away.
Lou Anarumo is known for his complicated defense and giving, opponents one look and then doing something totally opposite. And there have been players who have also said, it takes 3 years to really understand Lou's what he wants from you, basically. But how beneficial is that in the NFL when you have a guy who is essentially, he's called the mad scientist for a reason. He's smart, obviously, and he can scheme up for his guys, put his guys in the right position. How important is that to work under a defensive coordinator like Lou?
Absolutely. Lou's extremely smart. He's detailed. He knows why he's calling what he's calling. You know that there's never just a call coming off the shelf. There's a reason he's calling it. And as players in our system learn why he's calling it and the reason for the call, it's kind of one of the points I made earlier, is like, why we're in this and what we're really trying to accomplish, then he's going to put you in some of those great spots to be able to make some plays. I love working. He's a close friend of mine. We've worked together in New York, so we have a prior relationship. And we see football so similar. We see the game so similar, and it's fun to be in a meeting room and talk through things and hear his perspective on those things and how we can attack people or how we can adjust each and every week. I think one of the great things Lou does is he tries to make some of the same things just look different. Yeah. Then we have different things that look the same. So when you're playing against, it's like, wait, this is that, but no, that's really not that at all. It's something else. But then there's things that are for our guys are same as teaching. Mm-hmm. So these things that appear to be different when opponents watch us, for our guys, there's same as learning, and that helps reduce some of the complexity from what people see on the outside. And
moving into this week, the Texans, CJ Stroud, 470 passing yards, threw 5 touchdowns last week and dropped 39 on the Buccaneers. What's the most important thing? The most important lesson that you're trying to teach your guys this week going into their game with the Texans? Yeah, do not look at this quarterback as a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Don't look at him that way. You see one interception on the season. You see a guy that can throw the ball to every throw. He can make all the throws. He's decisive. He's good in the pocket. He buys time. He extends plays. He is a really, really good quarterback as what you would call him as a rookie. But again, don't look at him that way because that's not how he plays. He runs their offense. I think the other thing I really respect about him is he's not afraid to make throws. Yeah. Like he is not hesitant. He knows where he wants to go to the ball, and he's going to throw on time. And if there's a window, he's going to take the window and use his big arm to make those throws. So we'll have a great challenge with him. Yes, definitely. James, I appreciate you taking the time with me. I know you're in the middle of lunch hour, so I appreciate it. Good luck on Sunday. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you there. Yep.